So the Lucy Letby story is growing arms and legs. And ever since it all went down, there was a group called the Lucy Letby Truthers, right? Where they were trying to say that Lucy Letby did not murder all those babies and that she was used as a scapegoat to cover up for NHS failings. And they've even been holding parties for her. They even celebrated her birthday in a pub, which they booked the pub out and said it's for a birthday party. And then when the pub owners found out what it was really for, they were not none too pleased. And I've even when I've been out in Glasgow and everything, I've seen graffiti that says Lucy Letby is innocent and everything. There's like a big one. As I was at the KG Gallery the other day, and right outside it on one of the big plant pots, like just out in the main road, as they've got written Lucy Letby is innocent and everything. It's all over the place. I've seen it everywhere in Glasgow. So let's have a little look at this because there's been a little bit of a revelation. Letby did not murder babies, medical experts claim. Child killer Lucy Letby did not murder any babies. I mean, that's a conflicting statement, isn't it? A panel of international medical experts reviewing evidence in her case has claimed. Chairman Dr. Shu Lee told a press conference, in all cases, death or injury were due to natural causes or just bad medical care. Letby, who is serving 15 whole life sentences for murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 7 others between 2015 and 2016, has already lost 2 bids to appeal against her convictions. The panel's findings are likely to form part of an application which has been made by her lawyers to the Criminal Case Review Commission. Good luck with that. Do you know that the Nazi pug stuff's still with the Criminal Case Review Commission? That's how slow they are. But anyway, for her case to be investigated as a potential miscarriage of justice. The lengthy and medically technical press conference was organised by Letby's legal team, who had said the panel would present significant new medical evidence. Dr. Lee, a Canadian neonatal care expert, says that there were alternative explanations for each of Letby's convictions for murder or attempted murder. He said he became involved in the case after learning that an academic paper he co-authored on air embolism, one of the methods Letby was said to have used to attack babies, had formed part of the prosecution case in her trial. Dr. Lee said the 14 experts, including medical professionals from Canada, the US, Japan, Germany, Sweden, and the UK, had looked at 17 cases at the heart of Letby's prosecution and had compiled an impartial, evidence-based report. The report presented at the conference was a summary of the panel's findings, and the full report would be submitted to Letby's legal team, Dr. Lee said. Dr. Lee provided what he said were highly detailed grounds baby by baby for concluding that none of the murders occurred. He added, "We did not find any murders. In all cases, death or injury were due to natural causes or just bad medical care." And at the end of the day, it is the NHS. Lucy was charged with 7 murders and 7 attempted murders, he said. In our opinion, the medical evidence doesn't support murder in any of these babies. Well, this story's growing arms and legs, isn't it? Our full report will go to Lucy's barrister later this month, and then it will be up to him in the courts to decide what next to do. During Letby's trial, the prosecution referred to the 1989 paper by Dr. Lee that looks at cases of air embolus, referring to injuries caused when air is injected into a baby's arteries or veins after staff at the Countess of Chester reported skin discoloration in some of the babies. In the cases Dr. Lee analysed in his paper, those injuries had happened accidentally. The prosecution argued that one of the methods Letby used to injure or kill babies was to inject air into their veins and use Dr. Lee's paper to back that claim. In the paper, Dr. Lee described a distinct discoloration on the baby's skin in 10% of cases. Scrutinised. However, at the press conference, Dr. Lee said in all of the cases in his paper, air was injected into the baby's arteries, not their veins. He said that the skin discoloration described in the paper was not possible when air was injected into the veins. Dr. Lee says he had recently updated his academic paper and found no cases of skin discoloration linked to air embolism by the venous system. He prefaced his remarks by saying that the thoughts of each panel member were with the families of the babies who had died. Former neonatal nurse Letby, now 35, lost 2 bids to challenge her convictions at the Court of Appeal last year. The prosecution's medical case was scrutinised by the Court of Appeal in May last year and found to be safe. Excuse me. And the judges noted Letby herself did not present any experts at her trial offering an alternative view. Dr. Lee had offered to give evidence to the Court of Appeal as part of Letby's application for permission to appeal, but 3 senior judges said his conclusions did not undermine her convictions. The judges concluded there had been no prosecution expert evidence diagnosing air embolus solely on the basis of skin discoloration. Earlier, the CCRC said Letby's lawyers had applied to the Commission to investigate her case as a potential miscarriage of justice. The body said it would now assess the application and determine whether there was new evidence which presented a reasonable chance of a conviction being overturned. A CCRC spokesperson said, "We are aware that there has been a great deal of speculation and commentary surrounding Lucy Letby's case, which much of it from parties with only a partial view of the evidence," because obviously, yeah, okay, they're medical experts and stuff like that, but they don't know the entire thing, because Letby allegedly did have a bunch of diaries in her house with things in them like, you killed them, you're disgusting, you're going to be alone forever, you murdered them, allegedly, and that was part of the evidence that was brought up at the trial. We asked that everyone remember the families affected by the events at the Countess of Chester Hospital between June 2015 and June 2016. Mark MacDonald, Letby's barrister, said that because her previous legal team had not called a medical expert at her trial, the information presented was new, fresh evidence. He said the nurse was convicted because of the medical evidence, and if that was wrong, any circumstantial evidence would fall away. The most important thing, the reason why Lucy Letby was convicted, was because of the medical evidence that was presented to the jury that today has been demolished, he said. Veteran MP Sir David Davies, who has been assisting Letby's legal team, described her convictions as one of the major injustices of modern times. Yeah, so basically, you're getting the Lucy Letby truthers now. Now, do I believe that the government would do a bunch of utterly shady stuff to cover up their own failings? Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, they would do that, and they get the courts to co-opt it. Do I believe that they would basically pay off appeals courts to reject all appeals? Yeah, because that's what happened to me. Right. However, she's a potential baby killer, and I'm not going to bat for her. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Like, basically, like, there's a lot of evidence to say that she done it, right? I'm still 99% sure that she done it, and I'm definitely not going to go to bat for a baby killer. However, should these people be allowed to present all this evidence, and should she be allowed to appeal her conviction, and should they be allowed to gather new evidence and everything to try and overturn it? Yes, absolutely, because if it does turn out that Letby did not kill these babies, then she should be released immediately. I want actual justice to be done. However, she's a potential baby killer, so I'm sorry, boys. I can't.